the Congress postulates ideas and solutions, you sometimes see them championing some economic policies on behalf of the government.
Let me button and follow up on the point you made, because I mean, people wonder that if the posture of government to modular refineries is not encouraging, how then are they going to ensure that they make refining as easy as pure water?
No, but they are disposed to that. The minister has said it, a couple of times, even in his briefing to the National Assembly, that they're looking at modular refineries that can come up in a couple of months.
No, I'm talking about, for instance, those who already have these licenses. They said, look, it's tough. And then those who are illegally doing this.
No, you see, and that is where I said it's always a catch-22 situation. People have licenses in a sector that is not deregulated. Now, the profitability of that is the challenge that they have. Because if it's deregulated, now what happens is people can now actually build their own pipelines from their supply of crude to their refinery.
That takes a lot.
Yes, but
how can the National Assembly come into all of this? Because, sometimes when you look at the argument, Chamberlain asked a question of Labour, that, sometimes people still bring it before Labour and say, hey, wait a minute, what if almost every Nigerian, the chunk percentage of Nigerian, the bulk majority are saying that this is what we want? And just painted a picture of what happens in the state of Texas. And even if you go to Midland there, that is what you get to see because of the laws there. But it comes back to the National Assembly. Now, so when you talk about Congress, we think National Assembly is our own Congress. Has there ever been a robust discussion, a proposition by any member towards this?
Now, that is exactly what this member right now in this forum is mentioning to Nigerians, that there are a lot of us now in the 8th Assembly who are driving for that level of dialogue. The National Assembly is poised to pass the, wait for it, the PIB,
They are?
Of course.
They've always said that.
Now, well, that is always what Nigerians respond to us about. Yeah, you've always said that. But let us wait and give this 8th Assembly that chance to see whether or not we're going to do that. Because now these are some of the issues that affect the sector, and we're quite aware of that. And because of what we're privy to, we're trying to engage the executive now to say, hey guys, we're together in this. You can't be driving policies without realizing you need to have the enabling laws
to make
them happen.
What do you tell the Nigerian out there who says, look, this increase is a shock to me? Many of them find it a bitter pill and tough decision to swallow, especially when they say, look, our resources are grossly affected with this one. Prices of goods or commodities in the market is almost getting out of reach. It is out of reach for some of us. And so if we've got to buy fuel at 145 naira per litre, which doesn't mean that it's going to go lower, how do we cope?
Okay, so let me now appeal to Nigerians. There are a lot of us who fear God and would sincerely tell Nigerians the truth. We're not just all there to take them for granted, right? And it should be assured that when we, and that's the beauty of democracy though, and the beauty of the National Assembly, you can see some of our colleagues have a different position, but it's all about the superior argument. What comes first, what is more important? And I'm saying to Nigerians that, in my opinion, what is more important is to inject what develops a country's economy is not keeping their fuel at a static price. Is that what develops the economy? No. It is jobs. It is raising the level of money in your hands, the purchasing power. It is the standard of living rising because there's a proliferation of refineries. There are attendant industries that develop from that. Other countries are benefiting from that. So I want to appeal to them to say, please, the government is not insensitive to what they're going through. That's why they're still allowing for this importation to go on so that there can be a supply.
What about, does it make it any easier when people argue that, well, this government or members in this political party, the ruling party, played politics with this the last time because the last government tried to do the same thing, increasing or deregulating, fully deregulating, but they also kicked against it, many of them. So how then do they then flip the coin, turn and begin to argue that, well, look, actually, this is necessary for us to do it now?
Now, you see, the truth of the matter is the circumstances, whether we like it or not, were different. The price of crude internationally at that point was different from what we have now. That is one point I want to first mention, right? And in the course of governance, there are circumstances where you need to act on based on what you have in front of you. And that is what this government has come to realize, that they have come into power at the time when the oil price is unprecedented, where there is a decline in economic fortunes globally, and then we now have these humongous amounts that we're channeling towards subsidy. So yes, there were individuals in this government that were against the previous government's increase of the prices, and those reasons, in my opinion, were based on the prevailing prices then, the level of our oil reserves, the level of our foreign reserves,
which was higher than what we have today.
Much, much higher than what we have today. So there was this logic about you could actually maintain some level of subsidy at that point before you fully went towards deregulation. You know, so it's not as if they didn't also think there was deregulation, but they were saying at that point we could afford to do this. And let me quickly just respond to what my colleague, the comrade, said. You know, nobody is advocating, I'm not holding brief once again for the minister, but from what I know, I heard him say, he didn't say that the black market is going to drive the price of the crude. He said that importers are allowed to now source for foreign exchange, you know, for themselves to be able to import the product.
Okay, let me quickly bring